Welcome back to our special coverage of Election Day. Several key Senate races are simply too close to call. The ballots are out there for you. The polls are opening, and it's going to come down to you, whether you got after it with an early ballot or you're going to maybe get out of the house a little early today or after work to hit the polls. The stakes, only control of Congress. So if you're on the fence about which party is right for you, we've got representatives from both of them here to tell you why they are the best, or really why the other side stinks, which seems to be a much more common strategy these days. We have Republican Sean Spicer here and Democrat Mo Alethi. Hey, it's great to have both of you there. Mo, let me start with you. Why are you confident that the Democrats can stave off the movement that Mitch McConnell says is in the air, especially given the fact that you haven't had a whole lot of a national campaign that's anything but running from the president?
Well, we've actually, I think, we've got a lot of great senators, and we've got a lot of great candidates in both Senate and governor's races around the country who are running fantastic local campaigns. And that's why we see so many of these races coming down to the wire. A couple months ago, people thought the Republicans were going to run away with this thing in all these states, but we're finding them all too close to call, and so it is going to come down to the voters here at the very end. We've got a pretty good ground game. We for the early vote pretty aggressively, and I think at the end of the night we're going to see a lot of surprises, both in the Senate as well as in governor's races, where a lot of Republican governors are poised to fall tonight, maybe even more Republican governors than Democratic senators. All
right, but governors won't be the storyline. The storyline is going to be the Senate. I saw you smiling there, Sean, but I don't think it means, just a regular smile. To Mo's point, these states, a lot of them are purple states. A lot of them are states that Mitt Romney won. It wasn't wild to think that Republicans would run away with it, given the mood of the country. How do you see the races lining up as so close?
Well, look, Chris, if you keep this in perspective, a year ago, Charlie Cook, Stu Rothenberg, other national handicappers said that we have anywhere between a 15 and a 20% chance to take back the Senate. Today, the question is, are we going to take it back by enough? I think that sometimes you have to keep these elections in perspective. But regardless, the idea that Colorado or Iowa were on the map was crazy a few months ago. The idea that New Hampshire's coming down to the wire was crazy. The idea that Virginia has closed as tight as it is was crazy. I think what we're seeing around the country from one coast to another is a lot of Republican momentum, a lot of desire for change in Washington. And so whether you're talking about Iowa or Colorado or Alaska, I think we're going to have a really good night. If all the people who want the change that they want, talk about in Washington, who want to see things actually get done and a focus on the economy, I think we're going to have a good night tonight.
Sean, let's look into the future a little bit here. Let's assume that turnout is a little flagging today, which will probably motivate the change that you're looking to see. And then we get into the be careful what you wish for category. You got Ted Cruz out there who won't say that he'll back Mitch McConnell as the leader. What happens? What gives you the sense that just because you have the seats, you'll have control of your own party?
Well, I think that one thing that everyone's unified in our party is actually getting a few things done, focusing on the economy, reining in spending, getting some regulatory reform done. So, frankly, I'll be honest with you, some of the inter-party discussions that occur usually all take place. They took place when Barack Obama beat Hillary Clinton. They sat down. They said, hey, for the good of the party, let's all come together. Hillary Clinton became his Secretary of State. We all know the story there. Parties generally kind of have these discussions going into an election. They get together after the end, especially after what we believe will be a good night tonight. They'll find a direction to move forward, and then we'll move forward and make progress. So I really don't worry about that. My focus is on tonight and getting everyone out to vote.
Mo, what do you see?
The last time the Republican Party was unified was when it shut the government down over an ideological vendetta against this president. I think, I think we're going to hold on to the Senate tonight, and I think that moving forward, Democrats have a middle-class focused agenda that would invest in infrastructure, that would invest in education, that would invest in creating jobs, raise the minimum wage, equal pay for equal work for women. These are the types of things we're focused on. Republicans seem to have been more focused on things like another Benghazi hearing and shutting down the government and suing the president. Some even talking about impeaching the president. That's the difference. If they take control of the Senate, and they might, I don't think they will, but if they do, I think that's what's at stake. I think they've already, as you mentioned, Chris, Ted Cruz has already said, Mitch McConnell has already said, they may take us back to the kind of gridlock that led to the last government shutdown, do that again.
Well, you may have
so
one.
That's what I think we need to brace ourselves for.
But you got a lot of people in your own party who are running away from their own president. You're not exactly the most cohesive group either. So it's all going to come down to the people today and who comes out to the polls. We're going to see, fellas, who's got the better ground game. That's what it'll come out to today. Sean Spicer, Mo Alethe, thank you very much for being with us. Good luck to both of you today. Now, we're going to start you off here on CNN.